This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Stephen Icons.
Now, of course, I've been seeing that there's quite a few people unhappy with Tyson Fury's choice of opponent in Tom Schwarz, which he'll be fighting him over in Las Vegas next. Now, personally, for me, I don't have too much of an issue with it. For me, there's too many highly ranked heavyweights out there with an undefeated record. For me, these guys either need to step up or lose that O. So for me, I have no real issue. That's kind of always been my way. Of course, there are other names that I would have preferred, of course, but I'm not going to hate on this fight. Anyway, Ben Davison has given his reasons as to why Tyson Fury chose Tom Schwarz over a whole bunch of others. And this is what Ben Davison had to say. You can't win, can you? A few names got sent across and we had a look. We don't want to make the adjustment of somebody big in size to somebody small to have to go back to somebody big, because the other two elite fighters, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, that we're looking to make fights with are obviously 6'6" plus. That was the criteria, that we wanted somebody big. We want somebody in the top 5, and who have you got? Kubrat Pulev is mandatory for Joshua and is obviously in line for a big payday. Oscar Rivas is only 6 feet tall. Dillian Whyte is in a position where he's discussing with ESPN, Fox, Sky and DAZN, which puts him in a position where he doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Jarrell Miller is taken up by Joshua. Breazeale is taken up by Wilder. Tom Schwarz is number 2 with the WBO and also number 9 with the IBF. So he's ranked in the top 10 with 2 organisations. When the fight got sent to us, he was ranked number 11 on BoxRec. But then all of a sudden, now that's changed and he got dropped down to number 42. We're not trying to make a career of avoiding the big guns, because Tyson is the one who jumped up and took the fight with Wilder when really he shouldn't have. Tyson's shown that he'll always step up to the mark and take the risk. He went to Vladimir Klitschko's backyard, Wilder's backyard. Who else has done that? When you discuss with them about coming to us, poof, the conversation goes dead. Ben Davison's statement. Well, so what he's saying is that Tom Schwarz is because he's tall, and he is. He's 6'5", so he is a big unit. And of course, Kubrat Pulev, he's literally just had his fight with Bogdan Dinu this past weekend, so of course he wasn't going to be ready anytime soon. And for the fact that Kubrat Pulev is the mandatory for in the IBF for Anthony Joshua, as he says, it is a big payday, that's for sure. Kubrat Pulev is not going to risk anything against anybody of any kind of great note. Not saying he can't beat anybody of any kind of great note, but he's not going to risk it when he's got a Joshua fight. It's a huge payday, okay? Which is one of the reasons why he took on the Bogdan Dinu fight last time, this past weekend, when Bogdan Dinu got stopped by Jarrell Miller the fight before. Okay, with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, he's looking to be fighting on July 13th at the O2 Arena. And as he said, he's in discussions at the minute with ESPN and all that kind of thing. But if he does end up signing with ESPN, that would be the natural fight to make. But with everything going on, it's probably a bit too soon, in my opinion, for Tyson Fury to take on Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder, 2 totally different fighters. Dillian Whyte is far more dangerous than Deontay Wilder. Dominic Breazeale, yes, he is taken up by Wilder. So, in my opinion, is Tom Schwarz the fight that we wanted to see him in? No, not really. But he does hold that undefeated record. As I said, there's too many fighters at the top end of the rankings with undefeated records. They need to either lose those records or prove why they've got that record. Tom Schwarz hasn't beaten anybody of any kind of great note. And I know a lot of people haven't heard of him, so automatically, well, he must be garbage. It doesn't work that way at all. Okay, just because you haven't heard of somebody doesn't mean that they're garbage. It just means they haven't had that kind of exposure or that kind of opportunity. Now Tom Schwarz has that opportunity. Of course, you can argue with the fact that Tyson Fury, he did beat Deontay Wilder last time out, in my opinion, and probably 99% of the boxing world believe that Tyson Fury won that fight against Deontay Wilder and got a draw against him. So Deontay Wilder got some favours. So again, I mean, I can understand to a point why that fight isn't happening. Tyson Fury's just signed a 5-fight deal worth £80 million, so over $100 million with ESPN. Is he going to go straight in there with a Wilder or a Joshua or a Dillian Whyte and potentially lose? Of course not. That's not good business. Whether you believe Tyson Fury beats all these guys or not is not good business, because he could get chinned in his very next fight. It could happen. And that's just being like a realistic. While all these guys can beat him, equally he can beat them too. Okay, so it's a risky fight. Tom Schwarz, listen, he carries some pretty decent power, not great power, and he is there to be hit. For me, he's a younger, more polished version of maybe a Pianetta, for example. Okay, so Tyson Fury should be able to school him. Will Tyson Fury knock him out? Well, unlikely, but you never know. You just never know. And he's got 5 fights to do all this, so he's building a brand. Of course, we would preferred him to have had the rematch with Deontay Wilder, but as Ben Davison said, he shouldn't have really fought him to start with. And this is what I said, and many of you guys are saying, that he shouldn't have fought Deontay Wilder to start with. He was nowhere near match fit. Nowhere near it. And look what he'd done to Wilder. Wilder is lucky to be holding on to that belt. He really is. But this is boxing. We're not always going to get the fights that we want next, because if we did, we'd have nothing to look forward to, would we? Because eventually all the big fights will be done, and then all the Tom Schwarzes and all these kind of guys will then be fed onto the conveyor system against whoever the unified champion is, right? And these are not going to be the fights that people want. So in between the big fights, there should be some fights like this. So for me, I have no issue. As I said, Tom Schwarz is 24-0. He's 24 years old as well. And this is a good opportunity for him. So I can't hate on this fight. Is he going to be a pay-per-view on BT? I wouldn't have thought so. But listen, you never know. Is it the same day as Warrington and Galahad? I'm pretty sure it is. If it is, I wouldn't be too surprised if BT Sport make that a double pay-per-view. As in, you pay one pay-per-view price and you get Kid Galahad versus Josh Warrington, and then later in the evening, Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwarz. This may happen, it may not. Again, I'm just speculating. But for me, I have no issue with Tom Schwarz. I think Tom Schwarz is a decent fighter. He's not the most skillful fighter in the world. He's not the fastest or the most heavy-handed, but he's quite heavy-handed. Out of his 24 wins, I believe he's, 18 or 19 by knockout or something like that. So he can be quite heavy-handed. But this is a fight that you would fully expect Tyson Fury to win. But I do understand people's frustration with it and people's comments on it. But equally, as I said, I can't hate on it, really. Who else could he really fought? Nobody. I mean, yes, he could have took it to purse bid against Wilder, which is what he should have done, in my honest opinion. But outside of Tom Schwarz, who is there that would be willing to fight him? At this stage right now, I'm not too sure. So, anyway, it is what it is. So, Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwarz. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.